Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Lumi, your host, and today I bring you something different. Instead of a Let's Play, I'm starting a series of Let's Talk. And today we'll be talking about betas, more specifically about what has changed between recent betas and betas from the early 2000s. Now, what you see in the background is me just messing around on some Payday 2 to hopefully keep your eyes busy. But let's get right to it. To understand what has changed in time with betas, we need to go back and look at the very first betas' purpose. They were, first of all, rare occurrences, and they were almost exclusively for stress testing. And stress testing servers in what was then a booming multiplayer gaming environment. Now, experience in multiplayer networking and server handling were not as developed as they are now, and at the same time, hardware resources for servers were not as powerful, especially since the advent of multi-core processors were still a few years out. Now, that's why it made sense to test your game's online capabilities. I remember that my first PC beta was for Battlefield Play for Free. And it was a closed beta with a non-disclosure agreement, and there were some other restrictions on content diffusion and more stuff that I don't even remember. The game had many bugs, and I really felt like I was part of a QA team. I was reporting those bugs while playing and testing the game. At the same time, it made me feel like I was doing something exciting and like I was part of an elite. I experienced changes that were being made to the game based on my feedback, and I assume most feedback of others. And that just felt rewarding and great. On top of that, not everyone got access to those betas back in the day, and getting access to one made you feel special, right? And especially since, you spent all the years signing up for betas here and there, and if you were lucky, you got one beta access per year. Nowadays, there are many betas and they come in many variants. Heck, we even have access to alphas sometimes, which incidentally are equivalent to the betas from a decade ago. And not only do those betas come in many variants, like closed, open, long, online, this, whatever, they are so many. There are so many out of them, and it's just, if you want to enter beta, it's almost snap your fingers and you're in there. Now, it's easy to correlate the increase of multiplayer games with an increase in betas, and it makes sense. But besides that fact, betas have overcome their testing status, and they became a marketing stunt. And I'm excluding all free-to-play betas here because they fall in a separate category that I'll explore later in the video. But betas are indeed now being used to get pre-sales going, both by giving you closed beta access if you pre-order the game, or by giving you open beta access so that you might feel excited about the game and want to buy it before it's even released. Many publishers are actually playing the beta marketing card, but it seems to me that if I have to name one publisher in particular, it would be Ubisoft. As an example, I played two separate The Crew betas, and I even replied to the first of them there was like a content adequacy kind of survey, and besides bug smashing, not a single change was done between the first and the second beta, nor when the game came out. Suffice to say that being ignored didn't make me feel valuable like the old betas did. Another Ubisoft example, a beta, was Rainbow Six Siege, that came out in such an appalling state that you could not even play in a party what is supposed to be a co-op game. Rainbow Six Siege, right? Solo was your only option, and even then you'd have multiple crashes and connection errors, which required you to restart the game. And it felt to me that they were more worried about getting a beta going for promotional reasons rather than to delay it and make sure that there is actually a playable build to test. But the very last nail in the coffin for me, coming from Ubisoft, was the Division closed beta. Now, I got access through an Nvidia promotion and not by pre-ordering the game as it's now customary. Don't do that. And I had pretty low expectations for the game. It actually surprised me positively with the little that I played, but everywhere I went, there was one message following me. not available in beta. And every time I read that, I just recognized not available in demo. Because that's what we're used to get from demos. A cut content to try out the game and decide if we want to buy it or not. But, I mean, a beta should be for testing purposes, not the demonstration. Now, I understand that you don't want to put all the main quests in your beta or show the entire environment. I mean, I didn't take any offense there. My grief came when I was denied access to the crafting system. How can the core mechanic of an RPG be left untested? The only reason I can think of is if you're actually not testing your game. I mean, you're making a marketing stunt, right? You just want to market the best aspects of it. And indeed, the game was fun. I mean, but only because it was only a couple of hours of content, and it made me think that maybe it would have felt repetitive if it would have lasted any longer. So, something to watch out for. Now, being a careful customer and having identified the marketing purposes of the demo, I'm still waiting to see what the division will bring to the plate when it's released. More so, actually, after having replied to a half-hour, 3-part survey that was emailed to me regarding that beta. And almost all the questions were designed to get my customer profile as well as to determine to which extent I enjoyed or not the different aspects of the game. It felt like a customer satisfaction survey and not like a technical feedback survey such as a beta would deserve, right? Now, there are also some cases of good behavior, though. I played the beta of Battleborn from 2K Games not that long ago, and it came with an NDA and proper technical and content adequacy survey. Now, they haven't reopened the beta since, so I cannot know if they've taken our comments into consideration, but at least it doesn't feel like a closed beta followed by an open beta, all within a month and a half from its release. Now, regarding betas in the free-to-play world of video games, there seems to be more bad examples than good ones. Actually, I cannot think of any good example out there, and mainly because I believe that we have to draw a parallel between betas for paid games and free-to-play games. And what I mean by it is that just as for a paid game you get free access to beta, in free-to-play games beta, you should have access to everything without having to spend real money, even if that means that after the beta's period, you get a resetting of everyone's progress. Only this would actually guarantee that the purpose of the beta is testing the different systems and not just an excuse tag, and I'll explain this in a moment. Unfortunately, free-to-play games assume that because their game is free and they haven't added all the content yet, they can call it beta and start selling you things from their item shop for real money. I'm sorry to say, but that is just aimed at buying our pity for the game. If there are bugs or incomplete features or other things wrong with the game, the developer and publisher can hide behind the beta tag, all whilst exploiting the paid component of their game. Again, if I'm drawing a parallel with a paid game, it would account to you paying 60 or 70 euros for a released AAA game and only get access to a beta version of it, getting the content updates and fixes over the course of the first year or so after its release. Now, this would be unacceptable, so why is it for free-to-play games? I mean, I know, and I'm sure you would have pointed it out immediately and are shouting it to me. It's because nobody has to pay for the item shop content. But it's still there. It's still available. And we all know that many people will pay for those things. So, in my opinion, there's no excuse. I also know that, nothing I'll say will force those publishers to remove the beta tag that they keep on their game for months, sometimes even years. But I want you to all to be aware and consider, just like I do, that from the moment a free-to-play game starts selling things in its pay shop, it's to be considered released. Just imagine the beta tag away and don't accept any of the defects that you would with a beta excuse. And so what I want you to take from all of this is, first, regarding paid game betas, do not pre-purchase to get a closed beta access. Because whoever publisher is doing such a pre-order type of release will soon after have an open beta that you can join for free. Second, don't consider a beta as such if it has no NDA attached to it. Consider it as what it really is, a demo. Third, knowing this, don't consider the game to be the same as what the demo showed you. Consider it the same as a movie trailer with its pow effect, you know? Nothing guarantees that the actual game will offer the same quality for the entirety of its duration, nor for that matter that it will actually have a longer lifetime. And fourth and finally, regarding free-to-play betas, do not allow them to use it as an excuse for a myriad of bugs and a deep lack of content. Consider real money item selling as the game's release and its exit from a beta status. Don't trust them further on the beta tag. To summarize, I just wanted to make you aware of the fact that publishers are trying to trick us, either into pre-purchasing their paid games with demos disguised under the name of beta, or by using the beta expression as an excuse for the poor state of their free-to-play games. So don't let yourself get fooled, and keep your eyes peeled for actual reviews of the game. Don't buy any items from pay shops as long as the game harbors the beta tag. Inform yourself about upcoming content and the price and quality of such content. Last thing anyone wants is to spend money on something they'll regret. Anyway, I hope I gave you some insights on the mischievous world of betas, and if you have any suggestions on what you'd like me to talk about next, write a comment and I'll make sure to read it. If you liked the video, click that button and subscribe to get more. I am Lumi, thanks for watching and see you around next time. Bye!